Hi, Kimberly. It's Michelle from the Dog Psychic. I'm looking over this way, but my camera's right in front of me. So forgive my where my eyes are going, and maybe just listen to this message. I highly suggest that you stop at the computer right now and get a pen and paper and notes. You have a lot of questions, and I'm going to do my best at getting you answers for them. I've done reads like this that are like bang, 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 bang. My general tendency is to go into every single question a little bit deeper. So I'm just going to do the best I can with source and connection. And I want you to know that after you listen to this, to just take 3 days away from the information and don't think about it at all. Just leave yourself alone because it can be really intense. Even if it's wonderful, positive, happy, joyful information, it's a really weird thing, and it just has to kind of get into your cells, and the information has to kind of come to you. It's not always the information doesn't always resonate right away with people. And I was gonna say with some people, and it's really commonly cat people. I don't know why yet. I'm not certain. And I was guided earlier as thinking about doing the reading to let you know all of this. Like I was just gonna dive right in, but then all these reminders came. I've read about 100 cats. I really enjoy it. They come from a really cool consciousness. So I'm just going to ask you when you're listening to this to just take 3 deep breaths, like right now. And I hear in my head to ask you to just trust the information that you're going to receive. Just trust it. Like if you trust nothing else, just trust this on some level. And just let go of your like fears around it and insecurities around it and lack of understanding. And just relax. Oh boy, this is weird. I just got like a sharp pain in my throat. And anything that comes up for me during a reading is generally your information, not mine. So a sharp pain in my throat would tell me that I do a lot of muscle testing, so I'll be doing this to see if it's you, or if it's me. So it's not me. Muscle testing is you hold your fingers really tight together and you ask for a yes or no or a strong or weak answer to questions. So I do a lot of that, especially with readings where there's a lot of questions. I'm going to take another breath. Just you breathe as well. I do a lot of deep breathing when the questions are really heavy or when I get a heavy answer. It's just a lot of energy. So as I was looking at the pictures below and just connecting with them, with Juniper, I got Juniper's like a wild kind of an energy, and there's a past life connection between you. There's an internal heat that's going on in the body, and an internal heat in traditional Chinese medicine is indicative of yeast in the system or liver heat or digestive problems. So I'm just going to muscle test that yeast. Liver heat, digestive problems. So yeast causing digestive stuff. Okay, so the idea with yeast is any sugars and carbohydrates feed it in the body. Pardon me, I had a cat. Wow. Throat chakra. All about being able to speak from a place of truth. So, and this is connecting into you. So it's really, really important for you at this point in your life or in life in general to just be able to speak from a place of truth, okay? Don't hold back. In a kind way, of course. So yeast in the system caused by sugars and carbohydrates or an inability to digest food properly will cause an inability to digest foods properly. So, and will cause this internal heat, which I'm muscle testing as yeast causing digestive challenges. And this is just my own quick read. When I look at the pictures, I see what I pick up, and then I go into your questions, just so you know, so you understand. And I can hear their voice, like I hear voices. I'm clairaudient and I'm clairsentient, so I get these visuals. And then clairvoyant, so like I hear all kinds of, hear, see, and feel through my body, everything that's going on. So I pick up through my own system, hence the thing in my throat. Okay. Juniper's willing and needs really clear boundaries, like very clear boundaries, very clear information. You can't, with Juniper, you can't just treat her like a cat. You have to be really clear with her and take a moment with her with everything. She's asking, Juniper is asking for less touch as well. So less touching, Juniper, and if Juniper wants to touch you or your family members, that Juniper can do that all that is needed or wanted. Pardon me. I'm having a really challenge picking up whether Juniper's male or female. Male, female. So Juniper's both male and female. So this can have, you'll see that in a lot of personalities. So right now you might be like, that completely makes sense. I see it a lot in dogs. A lot. It's an androgynous thing, just like for people. This kind of balance of estrogen and just testosterone. With Frodo, I got that Frodo's kind of done with it all, and he feels crazy, like a bit crazy, going into a bipolar almost. And every sound and movement triggers a post-traumatic stress response from the tension that has been in the house or that's in the house. I get that there's, and forgive me, this is your cat's, this is Frodo's interpretation of perspective. So in Frodo's perspective, there's been a lot of yelling and unpredictable energy. So it's kind of got, and I hear it's been going on for a long time. So it's kind of in the cells. So working with stuff that's in the cells, homeopathics are very helpful. And so are Bach flower remedies. Homeo and Bach. Bach flower remedies you can put right in the food. Or you can spray in the house. You can put it in a diffuser, whichever you like. I'd like you to Google the questionnaire, the Bach flower questionnaire, and just go through it, and just confirm your Frodo's personality type with the things in the questionnaire. If you live in Victoria, sounds like you do, you can go to Self Heal Herbs and have them mix together the top 5 Bach remedies that you're like, holy moly, my cat is all of those things or has experienced all of those things, okay? So now I'm going to go into the questions. What's making Frodo itchy? Okay, well, first of all, what's making Frodo itchy, in my opinion, is the stress. Stress causes a cortisol reaction in the body with animals, and they'll scratch themselves like crazy. So stress equals itching. Now I'm just going to go in and make sure that that's not just my opinion. Frodo. Just breathe when I'm doing this, okay? Just breathe. Nice deep breaths. Yeah. He's had it. He's stressed. It's not your fault. You have to remind animals that they chose you as well. Like they choose us in each incarnation. So it's important for Frodo to understand as well that Frodo chose this incarnation with you. So you can literally sit down and say, I know you're really stressed, but you chose this too, and you do have the tools to work through it. And this is what we're figuring out right now, is what Frodo needs. And the post-traumatic stress is coming up again. So rescue remedy is very beneficial for that, of the Bach flower remedies. Okay, but you might add in a remedy for change and stuff. Like when you go through the questionnaire, you might be like, oh, yeah, this is so the cat. You'll understand when you look at it. Okay. Is it allergic to poultry? Frodo, are you allergic to poultry? I would say comfortably no. It's not an allergy to poultry. Poultry's just strong when I muscle test. Okay, allergic to anything else. What do we need to know? So, chicken, fish. So fish is weak. So let's see, white fish, red fish. So red fish is weak. Okay. So chicken was fine. What else do people feed cats? Rabbit, turkey, organ meats, beef, milk, vegetables, fruits. Okay, where do we go? What do cats eat? Corn, soy, carbs. So yeah, watch the carbs. Carbs and red fish test weak. So make sure the food doesn't have any carbohydrates in it, like rice or oats or a filler. Make sure it's just chicken, turkey, all the ones that you heard me say. The only one that tests weak is red fish. So be aware. And red fish is thick and hot and will cause heat in the body, which causes more yeast. Yeast. I'm going to write that in big letters here in my notes. Study for yourself yeast and Candida albicans and perhaps do a yeast cleanse for yourself, because there's always a mirror. The animals are in our lives to teach us what we need to know. So there's always a mirror. So please look into that for yourself. Okay. Why does Frodo eat like he's starving? Okay, so I'm assuming that was Frodo in the video. I can't tell. It kind of looks like Juniper. But if that's Frodo in the video, what I picked up from that and what I'm hearing in my head right now is that he doesn't really like the food, but he's eating it because he's hungry. He has to eat it. He knows he has to. So it's kind of, the food is a survival thing. Now, if you could put your Bach flower remedy, especially the rescue remedy, in a bottle with some water in it, like 8 or 10 drops in a little spray bottle, and spray that on the food, that can help dramatically. When an animal associates their food with stress, which is also happening, take a deep breath. The food will have a negative response in the body. So it would be really beneficial for you also to look at the Dr. Emoto science theories around water, and read about that and look into it. You can Google it online again. And when you put the food down, actually consciously put your hands on the food and send it like a healing or a healthy vibration, whatever you need it to represent. Because generally when people have challenges with their animals eating, food represents a stressor. So even the way that you're feeding them and the way you're worrying about them, and then when you put the food down for the animals, it causes all this stress. And one of the biggest things in the world, and it's traditional Chinese medicine as well, is the energy that you put into food is the energy that's in the food. Okay, so I'm going to take a deep breath now. Why is Juniper a picky eater? Okay. The first thing I hear about that before even tapping in is Juniper says, I can come and go as I please. Okay. So that might mean that Juniper's been allowed to be a picky eater. I'm going to go into that a little bit. Juniper. And just breathe. Slower, please, Juniper. I don't like it all. I don't need it all. I don't want it all. So I could suggest what I'm visualizing here is to eat like feed like a teaspoon at a time to Juniper when you feel like it, not when Juniper tells you to. Okay, don't feed Juniper when Juniper tells you to. Be a little higher in hierarchy and tell Juniper to get lost and feed Juniper when you feel like it. That might be a little bit of a challenge for you, but it's going to be a really good challenge, and I'd love to have some feedback on that to see if that changes. Feed Juniper when you feel like it. And only a teaspoon at a time. I just have a feeling this is going to really sort out some stuff between the two of you. Okay? It might sound really weird, and it does to me too, but I'm hearing it in my head, and I've learned that the weirder the thing is, the more true it is. And yeah, so just give it a try. How do the cats feel about the food we feed them? Okay, Juniper, how do you feel about the food? Pardon me. I repeatedly get, I don't want it, I don't need it. Now I'm feeling that they're outdoor cats. Juniper is, at least, maybe. I could be totally wrong. But with this I don't want it, I don't need it thing, I feel like that Juniper's getting food from another source, if that could be. The source could be your kids. There's just, I feel like that Juniper's getting food from a different source. So, the picky thing goes hand in hand with that. She's certainly not hungry, like starving. Okay. Are you feeding them enough? Juniper. She says, oh, I'd let you know. I'd let you know. So this is a bossy cat that this is kind of running your lives a little bit. So, you know, maybe change the dynamic a little bit. Okay. I'm going to tap into Frodo here. Excuse me while I scratch my back here. That itch. Okay, Frodo. And I have shoulder injuries, so doing anything is like, ah. I'm a psychic, and I knew I shouldn't have went on the mountain bike ride, and I knew I shouldn't have got on my horse bareback, but I did it anyways, and I have injuries. That's called being human. Okay, Frodo. Frodo, I'm just seeing you feeling like real, I see real chicken meat, like real meat, like you're cooking it. Yeah, real organ meats. Oh, so you might have to go to a raw food diet with Frodo, and just cook it lightly, maybe. Raw cooked. So no, just raw. Try raw food with Frodo, and I see chicken. Chicken, fish, vegetables, fruits, beef, venison, rabbit, redfish, whitefish. So Frodo actually has less. No, hang on a second. I'm gonna go back. Frodo was the red meat. Don't feed the red fish. No red fish for Frodo. Please be writing these notes down, because you're gonna have to go back to this over and over again. It's like, because I'm working with both cats, and they look so much the same. When I'm connecting with them, I'm holding the image in their mind and going to that image. So, for example, I once was reading a dog years and years and years ago in Ontario, little white, black and white Shih Tzu, and I did this big, huge read, and the lady contacted me back and said, every single answer that you got was from my dog, that the dog's father that's passed over on the other side. And I was like, holy moly. Okay, like I didn't even know that could happen at the time, and that's how you learn with all of this. That's how you learn. So reading them both at the same time and having questions together, like all mixed together, is provides a challenge for the read. But I also have to trust that everything is exactly the way that it's supposed to be. So, and breathe. What's causing Frodo to groom obsessively? Okay, that's a great question. So I'm just going to go into that. So remember, when I go in, you breathe. Oh, yeah. The itchiness, for sure. Itchy. Causing licking. We got that the stress is causing the cortisol response, which is causing the itching. So this all, it makes sense. I was a holistic wellness advisor for 11 years, so this is why I understand how the body works. Okay. Is Frodo unhappy? Okay, Frodo. I'm going to ask what the level of happy is for Frodo. So Frodo's like 6 out of 10 happy, so that's pretty good. Considering that he's kind of done with it all and feels a little bit crazy, a little bit bipolar. And cortisol, stress from cortisol will make an animal or a person feel bipolar. I'm going to go back in for a second. Constant interruptions. Avoid at all costs, your friends, your family, the kids, everybody, avoid bothering Frodo when Frodo's resting. Like, just like, it's life or death kind of thing. Not saying your cat's gonna die, but act like that. Like, nobody is to bother Frodo when he's resting. Do not. It's like, it's so bad for him. Do not bother while resting. It's very dramatic. Like, it's very dramatic. Okay. How do the cats feel about each other? Again, normally I go into the questions like crazy, but because there's so many, and that's perfectly acceptable. You have great questions. I'm just going into the tips of things, which is fine. I'm sure it's okay for you as well. How do you... It's not, I'm like getting this mixed message. So it's nice company, but it's a little claustrophobic for them. They don't particularly want to be in a smaller environment. So when you move, if it's a smaller environment, you might see some more negative behaviors surface. Juniper, how do you feel about Frodo? Says it's like he's there, he's there, he's there. That's what it's like. He's there, he's there, he's there. That's kind of Juniper's tone in life. Frodo, how do you feel about Juniper? Okay, so it sounds to me, and correct me if I'm wrong, that Juniper came after Frodo, and Frodo was wondering what the big hubbub was all about, this new cat. And it's like it wasn't all what it was cracked up to be, that kind of energy. I might not have that exactly right, but that's kind of the perception that I'm getting. The big one is that Juniper's not all cracked up to be what everybody thinks that Juniper is. So less attention to Juniper when Frodo's around. It's kind of, to Frodo, it's kind of just like, ugh, seriously, that cat. So really a balancing out the attention and giving them attention that's warranted. And when you have clear time, not just like floaty, like, oh, hey, oh, hi, hey, why, hey, whoa, no, no, no. Like, just, give them normal attention. Like, put that on a sticker somewhere. Give the cats normal attention. Why is Juniper aggressive with Frodo? Okay. I just heard because I can. So there needs to be a consequence and boundaries, right? And this is all about boundaries with Juniper. Frodo. So boundaries. So squirt bottle. Something. Squirt bottle would be best. Not a loud noise because Frodo's too stressed by loud noises. So squirt bottle. And just like you literally go after Juniper when this happens, like squirt, 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 and back Juniper right out of the room. Like not just squirt, squirt, and then Juniper's like, oh, well, no. Well, you have to get your point across. You have to. It's really important. Really important. Sorry, I'm all messy here. All right. Well, the cats prefer to live. I just heard we can take it or leave it. So they can take it or leave it with the living together or living apart. Is the marital breakdown and tension in our home affecting the cats? It certainly caused the... Oh, yeah, okay, I got it. That was really fast. So it's definitely caused the post-traumatic stress disorder. And when I say definitely caused the... Okay, I should reword. There's a very high potential that the whole breakup and the tension is causing the cortisol for Frodo to have all of these things surfacing. Now, Juniper's a different cat, so Juniper's immune system isn't going to be affected and body's not going to be affected the same way that Frodo's is. I have a feeling you have that question. So I'm going to go to Juniper. It's like Juniper's gotten away with a lot more because of all of this. So Juniper is, if they were children, the spoiled child that's pushing the envelope, and Frodo's the child that's going internal, and it's not going to be a positive outcome there, So, and I don't want to put any energy around that. I don't even want to give you examples. So just take that information and change things a little bit. It's never too late to change things. How would they adjust to moving from the Highlands to a place in town? So I hear another move. So correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like there's been a move before this. Frodo, so I'm gonna... Okay. Juniper's up for it. Juniper's like, these four walls can't hold me. Like, Juniper wants more freedom. And if Juniper can't have it, like moving to a new place is more interesting for certain. Frodo. Frodo says not a chance in hell. Doesn't want to move. Although that Juniper does get the heebie-jeebies at night. Okay. So there's some fears there. So Mimulus and the Bachfly remedies are good for fears. So remember that when you're doing the questionnaire. Okay. Could they adjust to living with friends should the unthinkable happen and the kids and I get desperate enough to take housing that doesn't accept pets? Would they be heartbroken as we would? Okay, Juniper, how would you feel about living with other people? I'm just gonna... So I'm giving the visual. Juniper's a funny cat. So I get the image of Juniper like walking in and seeing the people and being a little bit like, hey, and then like, hey, like, whoa, okay, whoa. Give me some more images, please. Juniper's very fickle. Juniper says, it's all the same to me. Now remember, because there are all these mirrors, right, in all the answers. So watch this in your own circle, in your own family, with your own children. And look at it as an opportunity. If you're seeing in your kids or yourself or your circle, if you see that this is happening, if one is like Juniper and one is like Frodo. Because what you're learning here, I believe, is how to manage those behaviors when they surface, maybe, right? The high majority of people that have a reading done come back and say, holy moly, that was like me. Or do animals mirror people? Or could that be me that you're picking up on? So I hear it a lot. And again, they are complete mirrors and lesson teachers. So, Frodo with other people. So it's not happy or unhappy. It's as adapting is what it is. It's adapting. So Frodo would adapt, but it would take a while for him to come out of his shell, right? So if that happens, it's important for the people to know that. It's important for the people to know that it has very high potential for Frodo to need time to come out of his shell, but he can chill out. And you would have to pick a very specific home for him, ideally, that's calm, all right? That's calm. Juniper can handle a whole family full of people and a house load of stuff, and because Juniper's a lot more curious. All right. So it's not about heartbroken for the cats. Cats. Okay, so I hear the cats can come into your lifetime after lifetime. So they know that. So it's just like, it's like a cycle, and they can show back up. So they could show up in your kids' 20s, 30s. They can show up in your kids' lives. So you'd be able to see, oh my gosh, that cat must be Frodo. Like, holy cow! Like, and it's your grandchildren's cat, like that kind of example. Animals can come back over and over and over again if you give them permission, and if they haven't had completion in their lessons or messaged for you, they haven't finished their job, they come back. And it's about figuring this kind of stuff out while they're with you and honoring it. And then, thanking them for their lessons and messages, and giving them permission to come back into your life in another life period. Okay, I could go on and on about that. Amazing experiences with that. Amazing stories as well, of my own and of people. Okay, what would the cats like more of? Juniper, what would you like more of? So I just get, Juniper loves to play. This loves to play. Like, can't get enough of it. Like, tubes in the house, boxes, like all cat stuff. Like, and the playing with her Juniper physically. Like, that's just a really fun thing. There's a lot of like rah energy for Juniper. So, lots of play. Okay. Frodo, what would you like more of? Pardon me, and breathe. Remember to breathe. So quiet time. So even when you're spending time with Frodo, or if the kids are spending time with Frodo, it's when, like, I get an image of Frodo like in the bedroom and they're doing homework, like nice quiet stuff. I get the image of you at night having, like, again with Frodo, and having a connection when you're just lying in bed or reading. Like, a lot of, it looks to me like in the nighttime things need to slow down a little bit, and be more contained if they're not already. I'm just getting the image of it. So I invite you to take a look at that, if it is or if it's not. So in the evenings, bringing all the energy down, lights down, TV down, and having this kind of really quiet time in the evenings with Frodo, more quiet time. Juniper, what would you like less of? Juniper's really tricky to talk to, like to hear. It's like like the communication isn't really clear like it is with Frodo. That could be symbolic of like a young cat, like have more energy, right, and more just harder to understand. I'm gonna go back to that. Frodo, what would you like less of? Okay. Frodo, it's funny. It took me a bit to put it together. Worming. This is what came up. Worming medication. No more worming medication for Frodo, or find a holistic way to do it. You can give cats, dogs, and horses diatomaceous earth. So maybe do that instead of worming. Okay, so less worming medication. There you go. We asked. And see, that's why with questions, every question you can go in more and more and more and more. But that's the first thing that came up. What about catnip? Juniper catnip. Now, I'm not going to swear. That stuff makes me go effing insane. So, less catnip for Juniper. But for sure, way less. Like a pinch if you're going to give it to Juniper. Causes a lot of chaotic energy. This could also be a cause of the attacks, like that energy, just that pent up energy. So be aware of that, okay? Because Frodo's immune system is taxed and the adrenal system is taxed, which is what it's feeling like. That's what I'm going to be comfortable saying. What it feels like is Frodo's immune system and nervous system are taxed. And what it sounds like and looks like, the catnip is, to me, feels like when you have a cup of coffee in your body and you're really tired and you can feel the caffeine in your system, but it's not bringing you up. Just as like, So I would drop the catnip out. It's a great question. Drop it out. Does Juniper sometimes jump off my lap to attack Frodo? I'm going to give the image to Juniper. Yeah, effing cat. I heard Juniper say that. Effing cat. Okay. Juniper is like amped. It's like Juniper has like these killing needs. So if Juniper's not an outdoor cat, Juniper would really benefit from being an outdoor cat. Juniper just needs to get out and get energy out of the system, because it's being directed to Frodo. Like it's just again like a pent up bully child. It's just like redirecting their energy and attention to a lower ranking kind of a mellower kind of sensitive child. I really picked my wording well for that, just so you know. Okay. Oh, well then look at the next question. Is hunting integral to Juniper's happiness? Yes, it is. Okay, 100%. I'm just looking at question one by one, so that's... So to you might be like, what? But to me, I'm like, hey. Okay. How have we been with Frodo and Juniper in other lives? Okay, Juniper. It's like, yes. How many lifetimes? And I'm just going with you right now, with your mom. So just 3 lifetimes. So young soul, right? And this is also why you're getting a lot of, potentially why you're getting a lot of these crazy behaviors, is that Juniper's a younger soul. Frodo, lifetime before, yes. How many lifetimes? "14 lifetimes. Ooh. No wonder Frodo's had it. So this, what you also can do in this is tell Frodo you're going to get it right for Frodo in this incarnation. You're going to get everything right with him, and that you will succeed with him and live a full lifespan with him. And that you've learned all the lessons that you need to learn from him. I mean, even if he ends up going to another home, make sure that Frodo knows that he did his job 100% and does not need to come back anymore. Now, I have a sense that Frodo is done. Well, done. So I can comfortably say that Frodo needs his job to be done right now. I'm going to pull a past life card on that note. Past lives. Doreen Virtue, Dr. Brian Weiss, who I've done their courses in the past. Dr. Brian Weiss is a doctor, like a medical doctor, there, who has, with many other scientists, proven, they say it's now proven in science, that there are past lives. They can't negate it. So I hear 33 in my head, so I'm going to go with number 33, or as I'm flipping cards down, if one throws itself out at me, I will pick it. So I'm just going to do this. Breathe. Oh, wow. Okay, the card is Asia. It's pretty cool. So I haven't seen that card yet in this deck, so I'm going to read it. Oh. Oh. I opened it right to the page. So in case you had any doubts, or a whole bunch of doubts, you're getting proof. A significant past life in Asia is influencing your current situation. You've learned group harmony and the sacrificing of individuality. Oh boy. You've learned group harmony and the sacrificing of individuality in the Asian culture. But the lessons of that lifetime need to be balanced with your current life culture. For instance, you may have been in the habit of suppressing your emotions and opinions in that lifetime. However, your throat. In this life, it's essential that you're aware of your inner truth. You're also being guided to express your beliefs and feelings openly with your loved ones in order to deepen your relationships. Your fascination with the Asian culture stems from your love and respect for the people you meet in that lifetime, that you met in that lifetime. Consider taking trips to Eastern lands to reconnect with your ancient self and to learn more about your soul's previous journey. Now, if you can't do that, maybe study the language, read some books, study feng shui or traditional Chinese medicine. Just start to read things. There's a wonderful pet book called 4 Paws, 5 Directions. It's traditional Chinese medicine for pets that might be really beneficial for you. But it's so your past life together with Frodo has to do with teaching you to not suppress your emotions and to express your feelings and beliefs openly with your loved ones in order to deepen your relationships. So just take 3 deep breaths with that one. So remember, it's just information. And be gentle with yourself with it. Okay, so I'm going to put that away. I have a feeling that that resonates with you deeply. Back to the questions. We're at 45 minutes now, so how do the cats feel about Neville? Okay, so I'm just going to go into that. Juniper, how do you feel about Neville? Can take it or leave it. So I have an image of him holding her on her back, or Juniper on Juniper's back and scratching Juniper's neck. And it was kind of a special thing between them. But it also, Juniper couldn't take it for very long. So there'd also be like, that's funny, as I say, on their back. Where's my dog back there? So, Juniper said the quote is, nobody's missing anything here. So Juniper's not missing anything about Neville at this point. How do the cats feel about Logan? Oh, sorry, Frodo. Frodo. Forgive me. Holy moly. Sorry, jumping back and forth like this is really a lot of energy, like a lot. And I just read 3 dogs as well. I did have the lady put the questions to each animal because I was like, holy moly, like I can't do this. So, but I felt tonight I needed to get to this read. So rather than sending it back to you and asking you to sort all your questions out, I was just impressed with all your questions. Okay, so Frodo, Neville. So Frodo genuinely really likes Neville. Even though he can get really heated sometimes, I hear, like heated. I get an image that Neville's like a ginger redhead, like it's like he has the temperament of a redhead is what I hear. Okay, I've got lots of questions, so I'm just gonna have to hop. How the cats feel. Juniper, how do you feel about Logan? Is her babe Juniper Logan. Logan is Juniper's baby. But he doesn't get it right all the time. So some learning to do around cat etiquette. Okay, so Frodo, Logan. Frodo says that Logan's very nice to him. That's what I hear. He's very nice to me. So there's just this calm, relaxed energy between the two of them. So that's lovely. Sierra. Juniper, Sierra. I hear she's a busy little thing. Juniper likes to watch her. Still not 100% sure about her, but really enjoys watching her. Frodo, Sierra. Sierra talks way too loud. For Frodo. That's the only thing that's keeping the relationship from being more, right? From me getting more feedback, is that Sarah needs to be very quiet. Maybe invite her to have a whisper conversation, or teach her how to talk to Frodo in her head. And what you do for that is you visualize what you're going to say in pictures and send it to the cat and ask her to, oh, that's cool. Thanks. Ask her to do what I do, to listen back and maybe get her to journal the answers. Okay. How do they feel about you? Okay. Oh my goodness, so many questions. Okay. Juniper. She really likes it. Like, I'm just getting an image of you coming in the house and she's really excited about it. She says you have like too many things in your hands. It's like, there's so much going on. And it's entertaining for her, but at the same time, she wants to kind of get away. So there's this whole slowness that needs to begin to happen in your guys' lives. She said, don't turn the TV on right away when you come home. Just let it be quiet in the house. Let it be quiet, okay? And keep your lights low. Like, just chill. Create a chill environment. Frodo, your mom. Okay, there's two things. You create this warmth in Frodo's stomach, like this warmth, but there's also this like anxiety that comes up as well. So there's some change in your relationship for certain that needs to happen. Maybe just sit with Frodo with your hand on Frodo and do deep breathing exercises for yourself. I hear 5 to 22 breaths is important for your relationship. 5 to 22 breaths, okay? With your connection with Frodo. It's going to enhance your relationship. Do the cats understand everything we say to them? Juniper. No way in hell. It's all too fast and disconnected for Juniper. So you guys are all going to practice animal communication. Like maybe get a book on it and teach the kids about it. Or, I'm teaching an online course someday soon, and they'll be affordable. Something like go to the library, look it up, read some books on it, share the information with your children, get your children into doing this, especially your daughter. It seems really important for her. Frodo, if you understand everything that's being said to you. With Frodo, I get the Charlie Brown thing. Mwah, 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 mwah. Mwah, mwah, mwah. He's curious, but he's tired. He's like, is that going to be interesting? Right? So, yeah, you must change the way that you're communicating with these cats, which is why you're here. So, pat yourself on the back. Don't get down on yourself about it. Don't get yourself down about any of this. It's not the goal or the idea. It's just information to help you guys get on track. The cat's lonely when we're at work. For Frodo, it provides a lot of rest. For Juniper, it's exciting when you guys come home. Let's just say that. It's like Juniper's looking for you. Like, where are they? Like, you guys are Juniper's television program. What are they afraid of? Juniper, what are you afraid of? You have to tell Juniper when you leave that you'll be back. Like, you can show light and dark for day and night. Okay? That's important for your relationship. Frodo, what are you afraid of? Frodo's eyesight is changing, it feels like. So the dark is really dark. So consider putting some night lights in for Frodo. Needs night lights. This is super interesting. Why does Juniper go crazy rubbing all over her hair and bathing suits that smell like a swimming pool? Okay, Juniper. Okay. It's just Juniper is so fun and so honest. It's like it's just gross. It's such an unnatural smell. It's like she wants to get it off of you and get you back to you, which, you know, smells like her. Doesn't smell like swimming pool. Okay. Why does Frodo suddenly leave a nice bedtime snuggle to go sit at the end of the bed? Okay, Frodo. And so I'm visualizing this as I'm connecting. I'm asking. If there's any worry, in this bed experience, this night, if any worry at all, it just pushes him right away. It's like, boom, it just pushes him away. So if you guys have anxiety at nighttime, consider taking white chestnut. It's for overthinking. It's the Bach Flower Remedy. Or Rescue Remedy. I mean, Rescue Remedy would be the most effective remedy for all of you guys. For shift. Google it. Read about it. I don't want to take any more. I don't want to take up time. I want to get back to these questions. They're great questions. Why does Juniper like to groom Logan's hair? It's just he's her baby. Like, he is her baby. Like, if Juniper had a kitten, it would be a Logan. And Logan can, like, make her stop, right? Because he's not her baby. He's not her property. They can have a different relationship. It doesn't have to be based on her babying him. So the more the rules and boundaries, and then the play. Like, get her away from doing those licking behaviors, and play with Juniper. Is there anything that cats wish we would or would not do? Oh, okay. I think we've answered a lot of those questions, but I'll go in. Juniper? It's too much. It's too much of a question. I don't have permission to go into it with Juniper. Frodo? It's just, yeah, it's just, I'm just getting a blank slate with that. It's not uncommon to get a complete block from animals. I generally get it when animals are in distress, or when they have run away, or if they've passed away, I'll get a big block. And I've sent readings when I get a block to my students, and they're like, holy moly, I've just got blocked right out. And they didn't even know what being blocked out means or feels like. So I'm being blocked out. I'm starting to be blocked out right now. So, okay, this is a great question. Juniper, why did you choose them, your family? You're very interesting to her. And she likes the lifetime she's had with you guys before. And it's, like, still very interesting. Oh, Parker. He's digging a hole in the bed to get his nest. That's what all the weird noise is right there. You okay, buddy? It's one of those on the floor, just bigger. Frodo. I have to go into Frodo now. I see this, like, written contract between you and Frodo. It's like it needs to be stamped and signed before he can stop, like, coming back lifetime after lifetime. So it could be a really fun thing to do energetically, is make a contract. Write out all of the things. Oh, I like this. Okay, write out all of the things This is cool. I'm going to share this with my students. Write out all of the things that Frodo has taught you. And brought to you. And then read it to him. And thank him. Frodo doesn't get enough thanks. Like Frodo's like, I don't get enough thanks for this. You know, wise soul, 14 lifetimes, that's a lot. Right? It really needs to be acknowledged. It's like he's hanging out with you, but there's been so much distraction that his messages haven't been clear. His value in your life, he needs to know his value in your life, and he needs to know that you understand what he's brought into your life. So sit down with the kids if you want, write it all out, and sign it and stamp it, whatever that looks like. I have some fun with it, okay? Maybe send me a picture of it. That'd be really cool. Okay. Is there anything else that you need to your mom to know, Juniper? Juniper likes it when whoever it is that reads to her. It looks like Sierra. She likes that. She likes being read to. He, she. By Sierra. It's funny. Juniper's like, I'll take it wherever I can get it, but she really likes that sound of Sierra's voice. So encourage that. Encourage a lot of out loud but quiet reading to Juniper from Sierra. Frodo, is there anything you'd like them to know? I see that Logan has an affinity to cars, and looks like it would be beneficial to guide him towards like auto mechanics kind of stuff, whatever that, I don't know how old your children are, but whatever that looks like, to kind of stimulate that, like have him understand the engines and the parts of the cars and how they work, or buying models of cars and he puts them together. It's something about taking apart and putting together vehicles that Frodo wants you to know, to share with Logan. That's cool. That's so cool. You're getting guidance from your cats about your child's futures and stuff. Cars. Logan. Mechanics. Or, I don't know what they're called. Models. Okay. Newt. Ooh, last two questions. We're going a little tiny bit over time, but I'm happy to for this. There's great questions. And it's such a good challenge for me. I just get the image of Newt being a darker cat, more of a solid color. Juniper. Yeah, Juniper's like 21, feels like. Frodo. $21. Both of them muscle tested 21. Huh. So now this is what I do with my pets. I have my little Pomeranian. I told him he had to live till he was 16. But he only could live till he was 16 if he was healthy and happy. Because it's not fair. So you can ask your pets to live to a certain age. Parker, that's beside me here, I asked him to live till he was 12. I asked both him and his sister to live till they were 12. He's 12 and a half. She passed away, it'll be 2 years ago this March. So he'd be 13. Holy moly. He'd be 13 in March. I don't know if you can see him or not. Let's see here. Oopsie. I'm just like, oh, there he is. Well, you don't see his face. Oh, I'm wrecking the place here with my computer, knocking stuff over. There he is. There's my big boy. Not spoiled at all. Okay. Whoopsie. It's my big crystal thing back there behind the computer. All right. So what are they in their lives to help us to learn? I think we've covered that. I think that's pretty clear, but I'm going to pull one more card. I want to do a past lifetime one, and I want to do a native spirit one. So I'm going to muscle test past lifetime, native spirit. Oh, okay. So I have to do both. Okay, native spirit. Let's see here. So I just hear 27 in my head. So again, I'm just going to flip through the cards, and whatever kind of jumps out at me, I'm going to take, or otherwise I'm going to go to... Whew, flowing river. So you, my dear, have to live your life more like a flowing river. For sure. So the card meaning everything's falling into place because you aren't resisting in the drift of the great river of life. It's time to let go. You're entering a period of gracious ease and flow. That must be nice to know, hey? It's all unfolding perfectly with good timing. When you're in a state of flow, you're not pushing the river to go faster and you're not swimming against it. Let go of the shore and enjoy the ride. What your native spirit wants you to know is rivers have personalities and carry energy. That's the picture. It's beautiful. Just as animals and plants do. From the Maoris to the Australian Aborigines to other native cultures through the world, it's believed that it's important to listen to the language of the river. If you aren't feeling the smooth currents of life, it might mean that you're trying to control situations or that you're being self-critical or judgmental. The way to move into the flow is through gratitude and appreciation and by allowing others to support and help you. The American saying is, the Native American saying, it's best to ride the horse in the direction that it's going. This card means that when the card chooses you, you're being told to let go and go with the flow. If there's something or someone you need to forgive, this is your time. It's also time to forgive yourself and just let go. The journey. When you're having a shower, just imagine water flowing over your body and imagine that everything's flowing into your life. And spend time next to a river or a stream and just watch the water and use it as a metaphor to enter the flow. Okay? So I'm going to pull up one more past lifetime card for you. Okay, less than that. Oh, okay. Okay, I got 7. Okay, I heard 79 in my head, so I was like, forget it. I'm not counting 79 cards. So I'll go 7, or and 9. Unrequited love is one of them. And medicine man, medicine woman is the other. So I'll read those. I sure hope you're taking notes. This is a lot of information. Okay, this card indicates that you've had a painful experience with unrequited love in a prior lifetime. The person you love deeply didn't share your feelings, or you may have been betrayed or abandoned. This individual may be in your present life. These experiences of unrequited love may be negatively affecting you now. For example, you might distrust your lover's intention or his inability to make a monogamous commitment. Okay, so I'm getting a lot of weight in my lungs right now as I'm reading this, which is grief, unresolved grief. So there's some work to do around this. Sometimes the doubts have a bias in current reality. However, romantic insecurities can also be a product of prior lifetimes. When that occurs, the unconscious insecurities are difficult to pinpoint or heal unless they're consciously realized. This is where irrational jealousies and neediness may actually ruin an otherwise good relationship. Sometimes the best cure is past life regression for couples, so you can both remember the situation that caused you pain in other lives. And then you got the medicine man or women card, so I'm going to read that as well. You're getting a full meal deal here. All right. This card reveals your past lifetime as a healer. Here it is. Okay. You brought this knowledge forward, and it's now embedded in your unconsciousness. This is why you have an instinctual knowledge of healing as well as a natural healing gift. So if you didn't know that about yourself, get on the bandwagon, study, get to the library, do whatever you need to do. You drew this card to help you gain confidence as a healer. Perhaps you're considering taking classes or entering a healing profession. This card indicates that you have a soul connection to this topic. While there's never a guarantee of absolute success, you have a passion and calling for healing that could form the basis for successful practice. So get to work, lady. Hey, Joey. She's digging a hole in the bed. There's boundaries. Okay, Kimberly, I hope, it's 11:11 right now. That's super cool. Well, 1:11 is what it is, which is kind of magical numbers. So get to the library, study all this kind of stuff. You've got some suggestions for your children in there for their path. And lots and lots and lots of information to ponder over and to write out and to explore. So I'd like to thank you. So I'm like putting everything away. So this is a reflection of you. When I'm like putting everything away and moving around, this is a reflection of you because generally I don't do that. So what we're going to do now is we're going to take 3 deep breaths and we're going to separate. Okay, and I'm going to thank Frodo and Juniper. I thank your higher self for guiding you here and trusting your journey. Trust your journey. Okay, I wish you the highest level of shift and success and marvel and magic and miracles with all of this. Like I said, give yourself 3 days before you even go into it energetically after listening to it, and just be kind to yourself with the information. All of it is always for the highest good and greatest joy of everyone involved. Animals are never communicating stuff that's harmful for us. It's always for our good. Okay, so blessings. Please give me some feedback on how this feels for you and looks for you. And love and light. And thank you to your babies for bringing you to this place in your life. It's pretty cool. Blessings.